All right, so who you should be listening to when it comes to your money. So I was having a conversation with someone, a friend of mine, the other day about boundaries. Now, if you know, then you know this will always relate back to business and money. But it got me thinking, like, a lot of times we'll share with our friends, we'll share with our family what we're trying to accomplish, what we're trying to do, what we're thinking, our ideas. And they tell us something which we think, because they're friends, their family, is helpful. But sometimes, a lot of times it's not. I'm not going to say a lot of times. Many times it's not. And so in this particular situation, I was talking to my friend about a boundary I had set. This guy, I went on a date with this guy, right? And he was trying to convince me why I should be his girlfriend. Now, notice I said I was on a date. Like, come on now, y'all. That's a whole nother conversation. But I went on a date with this guy, and throughout the date, we ended up having a really long date because he was in town. But several times throughout the date, he was trying to convince me that I should be his girlfriend, right? It was a no for me, and not under simple circumstances. And this is where the conversation came about with my friend. It was more so, it was a no for me because there weren't certain things in place. I don't really know you that well. I have to see how I feel in certain circumstances. This is a real commitment for me, which is a commitment. And so when I was telling her that I was like getting annoyed with at the end of the day, I told him, look, this is not going to happen. You might as well stop asking. If these things aren't in place, this is not happening. And her response was, oh, you messed that up, right? Sounds familiar? How many of us get told, oh, you can't do that? Oh, that's your fault. Oh, you can't, you're gonna fail. And I remember telling her, but this is why it's so important to also, while building your business and building your money, to also be doing work on yourself. Because there are going to be a lot, and what I find, although my life isn't in shambles, like I used to feel like my finances and my life was in shambles, but when I was broke. That's not the case. What I do find is that I do get tested. I do get tested, and I would say I probably get tested more to see if I'm ready for the next level. And I do move faster. So I probably get tested very frequently. But what I told her was, whoa, hold up. Like, absolutely not. I don't feel like I was wrong for setting a boundary. And I began to tell her the totality of what had been happening over the date. Then once she knew all of the facts, she was like, well, oh, no, I completely get and understand why you would tell him that. So when I was driving back to my office, it made me think about how many times are you telling your dreams, your vision, your thoughts for your finances to people that don't get it. So what they give back to you is what they have based on their understanding. But a lot of times they don't have the whole picture. A lot of times we can't even explain the whole picture. I can't tell you why. I can't tell you completely the full understanding of why I got into putting on conferences and retreats. I could try. What I do know is that I'm supposed to help a certain number of women before I die. And that number is quite large. And one way to help them is by putting on luxury conferences and retreats where they can come, learn how to grow their money, network with women that they could work with to help grow their money, and make sure their business is in a position to accept clients and to grow multiple six-figure streams of income. That I know. Now, why I chose the Four Seasons, why I chose Post Oak in Houston, why, I signed a contract with another luxury spot for our dinner on Friday. That's just the way it is. And for somebody else, they might say, well, why are you spending all of this money? You could probably make a bigger profit if you did it differently. And I could. But I don't think the people attending will get the full understanding of why growing your income, and being around like-minded individuals is so important if we did a low-budget event. And somebody else may not understand. Like, I literally went on what I call the restaurant and venue tour yesterday alone, because I ain't need nobody saying, damn, that's a lot of money. Why you can't have it over there? I didn't need that. I needed the feeling of when I saw it, because that's the feeling I want the ladies to have. If I try to explain that to somebody and I tell them the price tag that comes with these different locations, they're not going to get it. Like, I'm waiting for one of the venues to tell me how much a buyout would be. Meaning, I like one particular area of this event space. I like one particular area of this event space. But where that area is, it's kind of in the walkway of the other parts of the restaurant. So in order for me to get this particular area, I have to buy out the whole restaurant. Somebody else wouldn't understand that, especially because of the price tag. And a lot of you are telling people your dreams, your visions, what you want, your business, how much money you want to make. They don't get the whole picture. It's not even just that they don't get it. A part of it is they don't get it. But they don't see the whole picture. Like, you might be dreaming about this. You might have seen yourself in the future having this. You might wake up writing notes about. They don't have all the pieces to that. So you telling people that don't get it, that don't understand the full story, that's not there in their life, there in their mind, what you want, and you're wondering why they're discouraging, why they're trying to talk you out of it. And that's going to keep happening. So I would recommend to you, one, you either have to become really focused and really determined on what you want, so that if you do decide to talk too doggone much to people, they won't be, like, even if they give you something negative back, it won't be absorbed, because you know what you're supposed to be doing. You know what you're going to do. You know this is what it is. Or you need to stop talking to people. Don't talk to everybody about what you're trying to accomplish or what you believe you're supposed to accomplish, because they don't get it. I mean, you know, like, even no's. A lot of people can't handle no. So I'm talking about all of this because when I had the conversation, her first words were, "Oh, you messed that up," or you know, pretty much that was bad. That's not okay. And you know, if you know from your childhood, you get told that too, because they're trying to protect you. But what you need to understand is, a lot of stuff that you want to accomplish, you might be the first one in your circle. You might be the first one in your circle. You might be the first one in your family. They're not going to get it. So either you stop talking about it, or you get so clear about your vision that even if they say some BS that's not supportive, it won't matter. Because I'm doing things that I never thought that I would do. Like, ever. And not even to the point where I didn't think I was going to accomplish it. I never even had the thought. I had where I was and where I wanted to be. I didn't understand what it would take along the way. So if you had told me years ago I would be spending, if you had told me a year ago, maybe, let's say a year and a half, that I would be spending what I'm spending on the conference in New Orleans, coming up May 11th through 14th, make sure you have your ticket. If you would have told me that I would have had a conference at the Four Seasons, which is a brand new hotel in New Orleans, a brand new 5-star diamond hotel in New Orleans, the nicest hotel we have here, that I would stay there randomly, even though I live in the city. If you'd have told me that I was booking out rooms there, booking out event space there, having a brunch in the garden there, also booking out one of my favorite restaurants that's like a block away, like booking it out, a spot that I've looked at. When I would go eat, I would look in this little private dining room and be like, oh, I gotta figure out how to get in that room. Oh, I gotta figure out how to. If you would have told me that, I'd have been like, how that's gonna happen? And so think about when you tell somebody else that's not you, who didn't have all of the pieces, and they say, well, how you gonna do that? I don't know if you should dream that, but I don't know if you should do all of that. I've had people tell, why are you doing all of that? You need to be careful of who you're talking to, because it can really impact your dating, your money, your health, your edges, your brand, your clientele. Be very careful of who you're talking to, because it really can make a huge impact on how much money you make.